On a July afternoon, an 18-year-old girl in Assam watched heavy rain falling outside her home. At first, it seemed just like another rainy day. Then she heard people shouting. Within minutes, flood water rushed into her house. She helped her parents and younger brother reach higher ground before returning to save whatever she could. But when she returned, the house was gone. Everything her family had built over the years had been swept away. Sadly, stories like her are repeated across Assam almost every year. Village disappears beneath muddy water. Thousands of families are forced to leave their homes, and the headline simply reads, "Assam floods again." Why does this happen every single year? Look at this map. Assam lies in a vast natural basin drained by two major river systems, the Brahmaputra in the north and the Barak in the south. The state is surrounded by hills and mountains on almost every side. These mountains and hills receive some of the heaviest rainfall in the region. Much of that rainwater flows downhill through hundreds of rivers and tributaries, feeding the Brahmaputra and Barak river system. And sometimes the situation becomes extreme. In July, when extremely heavy rainfall hit the hills of Nagaland, parts of Assam were already receiving extraordinary amount of rainfall. Chiraidev recorded rainfall 436% above normal. At the same time, Shivasagar received 134% excess rainfall between 18th and 20th July. So water was rushing down from the surrounding hills while the plains were being drenched by the heavy rain. The result was simple. There was simply too much water entering the system and too quickly. But water is not the only thing the Brahmaputra carries. It also carries enormous amount of sediment eroded from the Himalayas. When the river reaches the relatively flat plain of Assam, it slows down and deposits some of the sediments. As a result, the river widens and constantly changes its course, washing away farmlands, roads, and even the entire houses. But flooding itself is not unusual in Assam. The Brahmaputra has been flooding this landscape for thousands of years. So why does it become such a devastating disaster today? To protect communities from flood, Assam has built thousands of kilometers of embankments along its rivers. But recently, some of these embankments have breached, sending flood water rushing into the very areas they were built to protect. Forest acts like a natural sponge. They slow down rainfall, help water seep into the ground and hold the soil together. But when forests are cleared for agriculture, settlements and infrastructure, more rainwater runs rapidly down the slope. And with less vegetation holding the soil together, more sediment is carried into the river. So more water and more sediment can reach the Brahmaputra and its tributary in a shorter time. And that can make an already flood-prone system even more difficult to manage. The same flood that destroy homes also make Assam plain extremely fertile. Every year, the river deposits fresh layer of sediments across the floodplain, renewing the soil and supporting the agriculture. For generations, communities have depended on this land for farming, fishing, and their livelihood. The river is both a source of life and a source of danger, and moving away isn't always an option. Families have their farms, homes, jobs, and communities here. Roads, schools, and other essential infrastructures have been developed around them. So when Brahmaputra and its tributaries overflow, entire community can find themselves caught between the benefit of living with the river and the risk of living beside it. So why does Assam flood every year? It's not because of one single region. Heavy monsoon rainfall, Assam's geography, sediment deposits, shifting river channels, weak embankments, deforestation all play a role. Flooding is natural to Assam, but when the natural forces meet home, farms, roads, and entire community, it becomes a disaster. And for the 18-year-old girl we met at the beginning, it wasn't just another flood. It was the loss of her home. And sadly, across Assam, her story is repeated year after year.